have Waves Kulgeet, and it will showcase the journey of waves throughout the years.
प्रस्तुत है वेव्स कुलगीत।
पुराणों स्मृति ग्रंथों में निहित अमूल्य सार हम जाने। तत्व ज्ञान ही बोध हमारा, वेदाध्ययन है लक्ष्य हमारा। दशकों से है वेव्स दे रहा अवसर चर्चा का, चिंतन का।
दशकों से है वेव्स दे रहा अवसर चर्चा का, चिंतन का।
एक मंच पर सबको लाना ध्येय रहा हर सम्मेलन का। वैश्विक हित कर्तव्य हमारा, अध्ययन है लक्ष्य हमारा।
हितं भरा प्रज्ञा से युतमु, हितं भरा प्रज्ञा से युतमु। भ्रमजालों से दूर बचे हम,
स्वस्थि भाव पूरित जीवन हो। अनृत मार्ग से दूर रहे हम, चिदानंद गंतव्य हमारा। वेदाध्ययन है लक्ष्य हमारा।
वेद है माध्यम जिसका न्यारा,
वेदाध्ययन है, वेदाध्ययन है, वेदाध्ययन है लक्ष्य हमारा।
It's like a Waves anthem to us. So today we are here for Waves webinar talk number 10. This is a joint initiative by the World Association for Vedic Studies, USA, also known as Waves International, along with wider Association for Vedic Studies, also known as Waves India. Waves International and Waves India are multidisciplinary academic organizations renowned for providing scholarly forums to facilitate productive discussion and research on Vedic traditions. This Waves webinar series explores Vedic knowledge through the various scholars and researchers and their thought provoking writings. On that note, on behalf of Waves, I, Dr. Aparna Deel, Secretary Waves India, welcome everyone attending along with our eminent guest of today's program. Diwali celebrations are still going on with lights and diyas everywhere, and we just had 9th Ayurveda Day that was celebrated on 29th October 2024. Ayurveda Day is a celebration dedicated to raising awareness about Ayurveda, its holistic approach to health, and its ancient wisdom for promoting wellness. It is celebrated on Dhan Triyodashi, 2 days before Deepavali, an auspicious day in Hindu tradition, as it marks the birth of Lord Dhanvantari, the deity of Ayurveda and the divine healer. Keeping this in mind, today's talk is on Ayurveda for everyone, every day, that will focus on making the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda accessible and practical for complex and busy modern day life. This talk aims to inspire participants to embrace the timeless wisdom of Ayurveda and make it a part of their everyday wellness journey. So, to know more, let's invite our learned speaker of today's talk, Professor Vandana Baranwal. She's MD in Ayurveda from BHU. She's the founder of Ayurveda Dhatri LLC, Women Wellness Solutions, and the founder and the president of Ayurveda Association of Ohio. A native of Varanasi, her deep understanding of Vedic traditions like yoga and astrology enriches her holistic healing approach. Co-author of Istri Rog Vimarsh and Prasuti Tantra Sandrishini, Dr. Baranwal teaches at the Integrative Health Center, Ohio State University, and Kerala Ayurveda Academy, USA. She has been honored with the Charak Award for Excellence in Teaching. She is an editor for the Journal of Education and Research in Indian Medicine, India, and the Ayurveda Journal of Health, USA. She believes that embracing the holistic and scientific principles of Ayurveda can help cultivate vitality, balance, and well being at every life stage. We welcome you, Dr. Baranwal, for your talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aparna. Namaste to everyone. I'm very thankful to Waves International, Waves India, and for this opportunity to talk about Ayurveda on the occasion of Ayurveda Day, to celebrate Ayurveda Day. I welcome all the eminent guests, learned scholars, dignitaries to my talk. Without delay, I will share my screen and present my talk. So today I'm going to talk about Ayurveda for everyone, every day. And before I begin, practicing in the United States of America, I would like to read this disclaimer that I'm not a medical doctor, and this presentation is for educational purposes only. It should not be considered as a medical advice. If you are making any changes, please check with your medical doctor. So, what is Ayurveda, where it comes from? Before we understand how we practice, it is very important to know the history. Our history sets the precedence for the present. So, I begin the talk with my prayers to gods, gurus, and teachers. And Bhagwan Dhantari is considered as the god of Ayurveda. So, Om Dhanvantarai Namah. Ayurveda is one of the most ancient systems of medicine that has been continuously been in practice. It is the cultural and intellectual heritage of India. And Ayurveda, where it comes from, modern historians say that it is about 5,000 to 10,000 years old. And this date or the dating is based on the present Ayurvedic texts. But what is written in Ayurvedic text is that Ayurveda traces its origin from gods. So we have moved far away in the narrative, and I would like in my talk, and I do in all my talks, to set the narrative correct that actually Ayurveda has its divine origin. It comes from the gods. So according to the Charak Samhita, which is one of the most authoritative texts of Ayurvedic medicine, according to that, the first chapter, Sutrasthan, says that there was a symposium, how we got this divine wisdom. About that, the history is described that when the sages saw on earth people are suffering from a very short span of time and are suffering from the diseases, their age was getting shorter, and the age they had, the life was kind of uh, 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 with suffering and diseases. So they got together and held a conference. And how many sages attended that conference? Then their names are given: Angira, Jamdagni, Vashisht, Kashyap, Bhrigu. More than 28 sages gathered together. And in that conference, Maharshi Bharadwaj volunteered. He said that I will go to the gods and I will get this knowledge and bring it to the earth. And he went, met Indra. Indra has received this knowledge from Brahma, who is the creator of the universe. And from Indra, Maharshi Bharadwaj learned this knowledge and he came back to the earth. And then he gave this knowledge to other sages. And that's how this knowledge was received. And what was the purpose? Because they have seen people suffering from the shortening of the lifespan, suffering from the diseases of the mind and body. So the purpose of this Ayurveda was, this again is from Charak Samhita, Hita hitam sukham dukham mayustasya hita hitam manam chetach yatroktam Ayurveda sa uchyate. The science that contemplates or gives the knowledge about hit ayu, ahitayu, sukh ayu, dukhayu, that where we learn about this and improve the quality of life, life span, and know the purpose of the life, then we can live a healthy and good life. So this knowledge has come, it traces its origin to gods. And dating its history is lost in antiquity. How Ayurveda has survived, its efficacy, its acceptance. Janmanas, everybody believes in Ayurveda. Availability of Ayurvedic herbs, that we call Ayurvedic medicines, Aushadhi, has kept Ayurveda alive. And the other important thing is Ayurveda addresses mind, body, soul, and senses. So this holistic approach of Ayurveda and its connection to our environment that we live has kept Ayurveda alive. So it is very common in India when we talk to people, they say everybody knows Ayurveda. How does that happen? So although the history of Ayurveda is lost in antiquity, whether it is divine or how it came to be known, uh, the many people say that, or many texts say that Ayurveda is one of the Upaveds of Atharvaveda, or it is the fifth Ved, or there are various ways people have, these are all opinions that people have presented what is Ayurveda, where it comes from. But as I mentioned, based on the dating of the Ayurvedic text, current historians date it to be 5,000 and 10,000 years back. Because what happened that when these sages started teaching Ayurveda, the students had such capacity. They just learned it like the Vedas were passed down from generations to generation in the oral way of teaching. They learned this knowledge by hearing and they passed this knowledge by telling to their students. So this is oral way of the way of teaching that it has passed down through ages. Only that when the sages realized that people are having short lifespan and their mind was getting weaker, they plucked the leaves and bark of certain trees and plants and wrote those formulation in a short sutra form formulations. Though that codified Ayurveda now present in the form of books are dated. So you see, Ayurveda is far much older than that. And the father of Western medicine, Hippocrates, is just 1,500 years old. So you see, Ayurveda is far and far older than that. And how Ayurveda became a household practice is that when British rulers realized that they are unable to rule this country, in 1833, Lord Macaulay traveled to the length and breadth of the India, and he wrote in his report that as long as these people have their ancient wisdoms, the practices of ancient wisdoms in their hand, we will not be able to break them. So the one Farman overnight. They passed the rule and made various indigenous systems of wisdom like Gurukul system or Ayurveda. They made all these illegal. In 1935, first medical college was built in Calcutta. From 1833 to 1935 in Bharatvarsh, in India, the practice of Ayurveda was made illegal. Teachers were silenced, books were burned. They tried to destroy it. So what happened that when outside these teachers could not practice, these Vaidyas could not practice, it moved inside the households and it became the part of the practice. So today we see everybody tells my dadi has sold or like that. The way of life or the Ayurvedic Aushadhi has started becoming over a period of 100 years as a long time. It just people imbibe this knowledge and pass down through generations. Currently, after the independence of India in 1947, the government started the practice and teaching of Ayurveda again. In 1978, WHO recognized Ayurveda. And now, since 2014, since the Modi government has come, he has been working continuously, tirelessly, at bringing all these wisdoms back to practice and making it contemporary and acceptable by the current science. So now at WHO, it is recognized as traditional Ayurvedic medicine or traditional and complementary medicine. In the USA, it comes under complementary and alternative medicine. So when this Ayurveda was taught by the sages, at the time, it didn't had so many branches as we today practice. Like I specialize in women health, but in the classical Ayurvedic text, it is just Ashtanga Ayurveda. There are 8 branches to Ayurveda. They are Kaya Chikitsa, Shalya, Shalakya, Kaumarbritya, Agad Tantra, Rasayan, Vajikaran, and Graha Chikitsa. So these were originally the 8 branches. After independence, for the first time in the Jamnagar, when Ayurvedic College was established, the first time they introduced women health as Stri Rog and Prasuti Tantra, and gradually now many branches have been added like Rasayan Chikitsa, Rasa Shastra, Dravya Gun, Bhaishajya Kalpana. Now Ayurveda have many branches, but originally in the classical Ayurvedic text, it is described as Ashtanga Ayurveda. And where we can get this information that we talk about Ayurveda. So there are classical Ayurvedic text. It is called Brihadratrayi, like Charak Samhita, Shushruta Samhita, and Ashtanga Hridayam are called Brihadratrayi. Fortunately, all these 3 books are present completely. Some of the books, say Kashyap Samhita, which is one of the authoritative text of Bal Rog or Kaumar Bhritya or pediatrics, is available in parts. Many texts have been lost, like one text written by Ravan, Ark Samhita, where he has described how to prepare ark from various plants, is not available. One text, Navanitakam, is available only in British Library. So there are books that are available and there are books that are currently taught at Ayurvedic colleges. So these 3 books, our Greater Triad or Brihaditrayi, are very popular. In today's talk, I will be taking references from these 3 only. So you might wonder, Ashtanga Ayurveda, today's practice of medicine is highly indebted to Ayurveda. I have shared here just one reference for Shalya Tantra, that is surgery. So at that time, when Ayurveda was practiced by the sages at the time, the surgery was highly advanced. They have done the transplantation operations, recorrection surgeries. So nasal reconstruction surgery. What and how sages have described, the same steps are used today as well. The Shushruta has done, like the wound, he would measure on a leaf and then cut a flap of the skin and take that skin from the thigh or other part of the body, and that flap of the skin would be used for the reconstruction surgery of the nose. The same steps are followed today. And here I have shared a paper published by the Division of Facial Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery, Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, Massachusetts. So Harvard Medical School. So those of you are interested can go into the details. So coming to how we can practice Ayurveda. To understand the practice and principles of Ayurveda, it is very important to understand the principles on which it is based. So Ayurveda takes its principles of practice from Shad Darshan. So I call them six schools of darshan, Shad Darshan, and they are not philosophies. So these Shad Darshan or six schools of ancient wisdom are Sankhya, Nyaya, Vaisheshik, Yog, Mimamsa, Vedant. And I'm sure in this learned community of waves, everybody knows all these in depth more than me also. So the Ayurveda, when we say is ancient, Ayurveda, when we say divine, it is not something hypothetical. Ayurveda is very metaphysical in its approach. There are things that we can see, but more than 80% things we cannot see. It is not just these are the presumptions or just the opinions of these sages. They are based on Shad Darshan, Sankhya, Nyaya, Vaisheshik, Yog, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. So Ayurveda at its core have the principle of five elements. Panch Mahabhut, which says that Sarvam Dravyam Panch Bhautikam Sminnarthe. Everything in this world is made up of is Panch Mahabhut. These Panch Mahabhut are uh, earth, water, fire, air, and space. In the order of formation, they are what was formed first. So it would be space, air, fire, water, and earth. And they are dravya. So we do not see sky, or when we name it, we do not, we perceive it by their energy. We, explaining to Western audience, we use the term energy, but these are what is dravya? So gun and karma, dravya shrita yata shrita samvai yat tat dravyam. So where gun and karma are there with the samvai sambandh, that is dravya. So these panch mahabhut, when we say prithvi, ap, tej, vayu, and akash, we do not see akash. We perceive akash where its qualities are present, like gun and karma are present. So we need to understand the gun and karma of panch mahabhut to understand Ayurveda. So we cannot see sky, we cannot see fire. When you say flame as the fire, and we say we have fire in the body, we do not see the fire, but we see the qualities and its action in our body. So what are these qualities? So like Prithvi, earth, is heavy, stable, dense, rough, and hard. Water is fluid, soft, heavy, and moist. Fire is hot, sharp, light, oily, and soft. Air is mobile, cold, rough, dry, and light. Space is subtle, vast, boundaryless, and cold. So these are some of the qualities. I have used the translation words. What Ayurveda says that these five are present as three doshas in our body. So these three doshas are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Why they are called doshas? Dushyantiti iti dosha, because they have the potential. Body is in dynamic state, and these elements, because of their gun and karma, are in dynamic state. So they are the elements of our body. But because we, an environment, a living body and environment is in a dynamic state, they have the potential, they are in a balance in our body, but they have potential to get influence and go out of balance. And then they become dosh because they cause dushan in the body. They are the root cause of the diseases. So this vata, pitta, and kapha. Vata is the made from air and space. Pitta is made from fire and water. Kapha is from earth and water. Actually, until and unless all the five are present, the existence of the things will not happen. And in Vat, we say it is the dominant energy of air in space, but it has all the five elements in it. It is the dominance of air in space that we perceive it as Vata. It is the dominance of fire and water that we perceive as Pitta. It is the dominance of earth and water that we perceive as Kapha. So how we understand as a whole is that everything in this world is made up of five elements: our body, our food, everything. This table, the difference between living and non-living is that living things have soul in it. And these five elements, Panchamahabhut, are present as three doshas in our body. These three doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, they are the regulatory principles, regulatory energies of this universe. So here is the thing. Everything is five elements. We make and understand them in the terms of, in Ayurveda, in the terms of three doshas. So these three doshas are present everywhere because five elements are everywhere. This universe is made up of these five elements. So these three are the dynamic principles. So we see the interconnection. This body is made up of five elements, food is made up of five elements, and the energy of the day and night, or the energy of seasons, from spring to summer to winter. Everything is these five elements, and we understand in Ayurveda in the terms of three doshas. So Ayurveda is personalized in its approach. It says that when we are born with our unique composition, qualitative and quantitative composition of these five elements in our body. Once we are born with this, it does not changes in our lifetime. So let us see how it happens is that the sperm and ovum come together to form embryo. Embryo is implanted in the uterus, and then it completes the gestation period of 9 months, and then the baby is born. So these sperm and ovum have their unique composition of five elements. When they come together and combine, this new composition in the form of embryo is formed. When it is implanted in the uterus, Ayurveda says that its quality and its quantity is affected by the food and lifestyle of the mother. So during this gestation period, what mother eats and what mother thinks and what is the lifestyle of mother affects the baby. And once this baby is born, its five element composition is set, and this composition does not changes in the lifetime of a person, and this is called the prakriti of the person. Recently Moti has said that on this occasion of Ayurveda Day, that we need to bring scientific evidence to Ayurveda. We need more research, and he has emphasized on prakriti parikshan. Some of you might have seen that it is circulated as video also, his talk. So some of you might have heard. You might be wondering what Prakriti is. So here is the Prakriti. It is who we are, that we are born and we remain same. Ayurveda says when Prakriti changes, it is the indication of impending death. So during the lifetime, it does not change. When we understand our Prakriti, then we create a balance in our life and live a life of balance. Balance is health. Balance is well-being. When we are imbalanced, then the diseases and illnesses start. This is being studied as Ayurgenomics because it makes Ayurveda predictive medicine. Because Vata people are prone to suffer from certain diseases, Pitta people are prone to suffer from certain diseases, Kapha people are prone to suffer from certain diseases. I will give you one example. Say for Kapha. Kapha is the energy of earth and water. So it is the principle where it slows down. When you compare it with Pitta, Pitta is the energy of fire. Fire is the energy of digestion, transformation, metabolism. So people who have Pitta in their body have better digestion compared to a faster and optimal digestion compared to people who are Kapha. So Kapha people naturally tend to have slow digestion, slow metabolism. They are more prone to suffer from obesity or say diabetes or hypothyroidism. Pitta people are more prone to suffer from say GERD, acidic reflux, or hypertension or ulcerative colitis. The same way Vata people. Vata is the energy of space and air. So they are more prone. Vata is considered as the root cause of all kind of pain in the body. So these people are more prone to suffer from pain, headaches, migraines, to in women dysmenorrhea, to arthritis, osteoarthritis. They age faster. So see, Ayurveda is predictive. Ayurveda is personalized, and because it helps us understand who we are since birth, it is helping us understand what kind of lifestyle we should live. So it is preventive in its approach, and it is promotive as well. So Uh, Coming back to again understanding its energies in the terms, we understood these energies in the terms of body. Now see how it is in the environment, because sarvam darvam panchbhautikam asmin arthe. This whole universe is panchbhautik. We understood the body. Now let us understand the environment, or in the terms of day and light, if we simplify. So there is a kapha time of the day, there is pitta time of the day, there is vata time of the day. It is easy to understand that sun is hot and optimal at the noon time. We, on a cloudy day, we may not be able to see the sun, but it is still there, out there in its highest intensity at the noon time. So because we all are the made of the same elements, part of the same fabric, when sun is hottest in our body also, this fire element is optimal. So our digestion is best at the noontime. When we eat at the noontime, body naturally digests it well. When we wake up early in the morning, based on the time, the activities that we do, we stay in balance. Based on the time, when we oppose those activities, we create imbalance and we suffer. So early morning, you see, the dew would be there, and the morning is calm. The morning is cold, evening is also cold. But the difference is that because overnight effect of nourishing moon was there overnight, in the morning you might find on the grass and the leaves the dew. So this principle or the element of water is there. So morning is the kapha time. Early morning from say 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the kapha time. And again, 6 a.m. to 10 is the kapha time in the evening. The afternoon, 10 to 2 p.m. is the pitta time. The same way at night, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the pitta time. In the night time, from 2 a.m. to morning 6 a.m. is vata time, and in the same way in the evening. This is a rough calculation to help people understand. It changes with season as the shift to sunrise and moonrise happens. Ayurveda has explained this thousands and thousands of years back. And it has, based on that, Ayurveda has described the practice of dincharya, the daily routine. When we follow an Ayurvedic daily routine, it helps us align to our nature. Dinacharya is a collective work that we perform in the morning time. So in 2017, Nobel Prize was given for physiology and medicine to the scientist who proved this circadian rhythm or biorhythm at molecular level. They explained that, see how the body is. There are cells, specialized cells come together to form tissues, specialized tissues come together to form organs, and there is certain organs who work together, and this organ system is called the systems in our body, like digestive system, respiratory system, endocrinal system, or cardiac system, or genitourinary system, or urinary system. So what happens that these cells of certain system are functioning optimally in tune with the environmental energies at certain time of the day. When we perform those activities, it is in tune with and in harmony or in rhythm with the nature, then those organs are less stressed. When those organs are less stressed, we are in balance and we create well-being. Modern science is proving it now. Ayurveda has always said, it has just said in the terms of vata, pitta, kapha, there is a vata time of the day, pitta time of the day, kapha time of the day, and we should perform certain activities. So what is this activity? This Ayurvedic Dincharya, I have taken it from Ashtanga Hridayam. This Ayurvedic Dincharya, there are sequence of daily activities that Ayurvedic text describes. That is, first thing is waking up. Everybody should wake up early. So here I was talking about personalized approach. And now I am saying that this Dincharya everybody should follow. So what happens that there are certain things in a general way everybody can follow. If someone is suffering from if someone is suffering from any disease, or they have any specific problems, or they are in extremes of climatic conditions, or anywhere on earth like high altitude or close to desert, for them they need to understand. But in general, some of the things everybody can practice. So what I'm sharing here is everybody can practice in general. So waking up early, Ayurveda advocates waking up early. Brahm Muhurte Uttishte. It helps us protect our health, Ayush. It enhances our lifespan, longevity. And second thing is, after waking up, passing of urine and the bowel movement, then Dant Pavan, Dant Dhavan, brushing your teeth, which also involves scraping the tongue, then Anjan, applying of the coryllium in the eye, and Nasya, application of oil in the nose, then Gandush, oil pulling, keeping the oil in the mouth, swishing it around, and then Thambul, Abhyang, gentle body massage, exercise, Udvartan, Snan, and then after that, we are ready to perform the duties that the day demands. All these activities are, in general, you see, are to cleanse our sense organs. So, how in Ayurveda body is seen as the food that we eat is digested. We eat food because sun is optimal at the noontime. Lunch is considered the main meal in Ayurveda. We should sit down and eat nicely lunch. When we eat at adequate time, in adequate amount, follow the guidelines for eating, our food is digested well. So when we sleep at night time, in the daytime, during Pitta, the digestion is happening. At the night time, when we sleep, metabolism is happening. That digestion at the tissue level becomes metabolism. The essence of food goes to the tissues and metabolism is happening. And for that metabolism, it needs body at sleep and rest. So when we are sleeping, metabolism happens. So the waste of digestion is eliminated at bowel movement. Ayurveda says that waste of metabolism should also be eliminated from the body in the morning. And for that, we need to clean it. And how the waste of metabolism is excreted? It is excreted by the chidra. In our body, we have these 9 openings like eyes, nose, ear, mouth, and there are millions of these sparshindriya tvacha. On the skin, we have millions of these pores, sweat, or all these things body excretes. When we wake up early in the morning, it gives us time to take care of our sensory organs and cleanse it. Because if, for the definition of health, Ayurveda says that samdoshah samagnischa samadhatu mal kriyah. So the doshas should be in balance, dhatu should be in balance, agni should be in balance. And for mal, it says the excretory products of digestion and metabolism. It says mal kriya. There is certain way that body holds this mal. It is dhatu, but it crosses a threshold and body needs to eliminate it. When body is not eliminating this mal kriya is not happening. When body is not eliminating this mal, or we are not taking care of our body and cleansing it, then it causes diseases. So morning time in Ayurveda is the time to cleanse of the digestive waste and the metabolic waste. So morning time, when we wake up, we are cleaning our teeth, we are splashing water on our eyes, we are Ayurveda says that we should clean our ears fortnightly. And then when we take shower in the morning, we are cleansing all these pores on our skin. So this is designed in classical text. I have simplified it for daily routine for today's word, that waking up early. It does not changes. It supports healthy elimination. So everybody should wake up before sunrise. Brahmurd, it is 45 minutes to 1 hour before the sunrise. It changes with the season. And before we leave the bed, we should just pray to the gods and connect, because Ayurveda says that we are a combination of our mind, body, soul, and senses. When there is a connection within, which is at the same time in connection and harmony with our external environment, then we create and maintain peace and well-being. So when we start our day, we should not start our day jolted by a this alarm or just rush, but we should start our day calmly. So connecting to the gods, just taking the blessings of the Bhagwan and bringing our hand together. Many of us might remember Karagre Vaste Lakshmi Kar Madhya Saraswati Kar Muletu Govinda Prabhate Kar Darshanam. This is the purpose to all these teachings and mantras, helping us connect to divine and starting our day with the blessing and this confidence in our heart that we are not the sole doers, but out there are the powers that help us. It helps create mental peace and calm and begin your day. Then brush, floss, and scrape your tongue. Drink a glass of hot water, and it supports healthy bowel movement. And then shower. After shower, everybody should say a small prayer, light a lamp. And Ayurveda says that about breakfast, that eat your breakfast only when you are hungry. Everybody should not start their day eating a heavy breakfast. Lunch should be considered the main meal. If you are little hungry, save your appetite and eat lunch. And then start your day. Dress up nicely, put on your jewelry, perfume. In the ancient days, people used to wear mala, these flower garlands, and put some sugandha, that is any kind of from flowers and other pleasing fragrance. And then begin your day. This helps us feel confidence, start our day staying calm and confident and happy. It brings more quality to the life. Now, there are certain scientific reasons which now science proves. In the morning routine, Ayurveda says wake up early and drink a glass of water because it supports healthy elimination. Before we start eating next day, the waste of the food that we eated previous day should be digested and eliminated by the body, because this body is not a storehouse. We should eliminate before we start eating. Now science says that there are enough research that I have shared one reference here, that there is a colonic clock to our body and it is sensitized to empty in the morning. So this colonic clock might be different in everyone based on their composition in the terms of 5 elements, the qualitative and quantitative composition of these 5 elements, or in the terms of Vata Pitta Kapha. So how it could be that Kapha people, as their metabolism is slow, might need drink hot water. They may have difficulty in passing stool. Pitta people, because it is their body have good energy of digestion and transformation and metabolism, they may wake up and they may have healthy bowel movement. Vata people, because it is the energy of movement. Someday they may have healthy bowel movement, someday may not. So you see, when you know who you are, it helps you understand your digestion and elimination. Then you stay calm. Otherwise, you would think, I eat the same meal. Why one day I'm having healthy elimination, one day I am not? So everybody's colonic clock is different, but colonic clock in human species, it is set to eliminate in the morning, which Ayurveda has said thousands and thousands years back. Now, Ayurveda supports eating the main meal as the lunch, because it is simply our connection to our environment. Sun is optimal, and so is our digestive fire. Ayurveda calls it Jatharagni. Jatharagni is the main Agni. Then it nourishes Dhatvagni, and this Dhatvagni nourishes Panchabhutagni. It from gross, it becomes subtle. So this gross Agni, Jatharagni, which is the nourishing principle of all the Agnis, is optimal at the noontime. And there the research proves that there is a diurnal variation to enzymic activity that digest our food, especially the related to this post-parental lipase, that it peaks around noontime, middle of the day. So you see what Ayurveda has said, modern science continues to prove. In America, most of the people eat breakfast and heavy breakfast, and most of the time it is sweet, heavy, cold, which is totally against the principles of Ayurveda. So it's our Indian food, the breakfast or Indian way of living. You see why we are eating or why we are living the way we are? Because when Ayurveda was made illegal, it moved into the household, or since ancient time, it is our heritage we have received from our ancestors, and it has been always practiced as a way of life. These things are uh, they always have been our way of life. It is just because of the Western influence, copying the West in the name of modern, becoming modern, that we are ruining our health. Now, the third was Ayurveda says that slow down from evening. If you look up at Ayurvedic way of lifestyle, not just the more dinacharya, it is after the lunch, when the evening starts, we need to slow down. Why? Because this body for the sleep needs to go into the phase of rest and for the optimal sleep. And there is an internal clock for this. Sleep occurs by the melatonin hormone, and there is a secretion of melatonin. It starts from the evening and it peaks around 2 to 4 o'clock. So you see, this is what Ayurveda says. It is like you board the bus to reach the destination. If you miss that initial secretion of melatonin hormone, then you will not reach to your destination of healthy, deep, good sleep. So it is very important to slow down from the evening, and having a slowing down from evening, making plans for the next day takes the burden off your mind. You become more calm. Having early dinner and light dinner, not doing the screen time in today's world. Everybody is on computer or phone or watching TV. Ayurveda says no screen time. This blows, the light stimulates our mind. It becomes difficult to calm down. And then those who are having some difficulty, they might do gentle foot massage or a warm shower, and then to calm the mind, or as to enhance well-being, because we are mind, body, soul, and senses. In the morning, if someone is rushed and not able to do the meditation just before bed, they should meditate. There was a paper published by Dr. Wallace in 1992, the effect of consciousness on physiology. It is a free paper on National Medical Library, PubMed. Anybody can see the effect of meditation on our physiology. So meditation, because we are mind, body, soul, and senses. Soul, this Atma, consciousness part, we need to connect to it every day through meditation, through mantra chanting. So if someone couldn't do in the morning, they should do before bed, and then go to bed by 9:30 to the max by 10 p.m. Then this routine helps you live a life of well-being, protect your health, maintain well-being, in from kind of, it is not just preventive and protective, it enhances well-being, it brings longevity, and it brings a better quality to life. We all live, we we have studied, we have created wealth, we have families, but still there is something lacking in our, sometimes we feel restless. Why it is there? Because if we are not connected to ourselves within, or with this higher divine consciousness, then we do not find that peace in our life. And in Ayurvedic daily routine, all aspects of our being are ingrained for practice. So it helps us. It brings peace, happiness, satisfaction, longevity. So this is not to the Ayurveda. This everybody can practice Ayurveda for everyone, every day. Follow this Ayurvedic Dincharya and stay well, protect your good health. There is more to Ayurveda. There are herbs. In Ayurvedic classical texts, more than 12,000 distinct Sanskrit plant names have come. And Ayurvedic herbs, eh, from haldi, turmeric to ashwagandha, it is being used. What I want to emphasize is Ayurvedic herbs are very powerful and they should be used Ayurvedically. Many of you might have seen the capsules of turmeric. Here I see the doctors at the Cleveland Clinic are recommending turmeric because they have now discovered that it is analgesic, anti-inflammatory, and other benefits. None of the classical Ayurvedic texts describe the use of turmeric powder. It is always either with honey or milk or a part of a polyherbal formulation, or with some lipids, like some fats with ghee. When when Ayurvedic herbs are taken Ayurvedically, they do not cause any side effects. But when they are not, then there is high chance of having some kind of side effects. So when people are taking high dose of this turmeric, we are sitting on a volcano. maybe in a decade, it would be like Ayurveda causes Ayurveda have side effects. But we see Ayurveda not practiced Ayurvedically have side effects. And like that ashwagandha, also people come to me that I'm practicing Ayurveda. How you are practicing Ayurveda? I'm adding ashwagandha to my smoothie. So first thing is a smoothie is not an Ayurvedic food. They make smoothies, they are greens, protein powders, nuts, vegetables, milk, everything goes in one. No, Ayurveda also have food and eating guidelines, and it have a principle that we call Viruddha Ahar, food combinations. Viruddha Ahar, these food with opposing energy should not be combined together. So ashwagandha is a rasayan. It works at a ras level. Ahar, food that we eat when digested, it creates rasa dhatu in our body. So this rasa dhatu is precursor for all kind of tissues. Some herbs act at rasa level. These are called rasayan. In Ayurveda, we have this science of rasayan chikitsa is a branch, and it is the science of longevity, healthy aging, and their rasayan herbs are described. So they are very powerful herbs and should be used cautiously. And here I have shared one with Madhuyashti that it causes in atrophic vaginitis in old age. So Ayurvedic herbs, many of you might be familiar with their power. And now I will also try to just talk a little about Ayurvedic therapies. So how do we practice Ayurveda? Ayurveda is three kind of chikitsa: Yukti Vipashre, Deva Vipashre, Sattva Vajay. So in Yukti Vipashre Chikitsa, we bring Yukti Yojana. So we bring various variables for therapeutic purposes. So there we use Ahar, Vihar, food and eating guidelines, daily routine and lifestyle guidelines, and then we use Aushad, some herbs and formulations. And Ayurvedic Aushad could be metals, minerals. It is a profound science again. And then there is Panchakarma. The fourth powerful tool is Panchakarma. Panchakarma is, as the name suggests, a set of 5 activities. They come with the Purva Karma, preparatory procedures of Snehan and Swedan. And then Panchakarma is Vaman, Virechan, Nasya, Basti, so Raktamokshan. So these therapies they again are very powerful. They can be used as a single therapy for certain indication, or they can be used as a combination or a set of panchkarma. So here I have used Shirodhara, Nasya, Janubasti, Abhyang, Padabhyang, Shirobhyang, Pindaswed, Katibasti, Udvartan. So there are various modalities to Ayurvedic therapeutics that people can use. So I would conclude my talk with Ayurveda is science of life, intellectual heritage of India, and we should be very proud of, and we should set the narrative right that it is in our history that there was a time when we were free from the worldly desires and we had such powers that we could connect to divinity, and our sages were such people. They were called Apt. These Apt Purush, they gave this science for the benefit of mankind. They did not give their names to the books. They did not give it to make money or wealth. They were selfless people, free from the desires of the world. That's why they gave this science. They understood that dharmarth kam mokshanam arogyam mulmuttamam. The purpose of Ayurveda is not just to have a healthy body, but purpose was dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Moksha, because life itself was seen as ultimate suffering. Being free from the desires of this, being free from the cycles of life and death and bound to it by desires, because it is also described in Ayurvedic text that why we are born. So karma klesha chodita, our desires and effect of like karma, how Krishna has described in Gita, the effect of karma. We are bound as long as we are creating the karma in our life. So they understood it so well. They gave it for the benefit of mankind. They were well-wishers of this humanity. And it is based, principles and practice of Ayurveda is based on Shadadarshan. And Ayurveda is holistic in its approach. Modern, if we look up, see, Ayurveda is also, in a limited sense of way, also known as medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. So modern medicine is binary. Now it is binary in approach. For a long time, it was just treating the body. Now it has taken into account mind and body. But Ayurveda is far advanced and it is ternary in its approach. It takes mind, body, and consciousness. So it addresses emotional, psychological, physical, spiritual well-being. It is personalized medicine, it is preventative, it is promotive, and it is predictive in its approach. Ayurvedic text or Ayurvedic knowledge is full of Ayurvedic Aushadhi, information about Ayurvedic Aushadhi that come from not only plants. Ayurveda says that everything that exists in the world can be used as medicine. It is just that we have to know this knowledge, how to use it. So Ayurvedic Aushadhi are made from the herbs. They are polyherbal formulations. There could be more than 50. One like Chyawanprash, 52 herbs. There are other formulations, they have 72 herbs. There could be metals, minerals, they are processed in various ways. These metals are processed in such a way that these metals become bioavailable, therapeutic, and do not cause any side effect if prepared correctly, how described in Ayurvedic text. Why Ayurveda has failed to create scientific evidence or validation is it is a different kind of science. We are using a different scale to measure Ayurveda. So it needs a paradigm shift in research of Ayurveda to create evidence. Although it is profound science, highly advanced science, anything that we know in today's world, that it is more advanced than that, still our sages were so something that we understand so well, only then we can simplify it. So our sages understood it in such a way that they have simplified it for the common man who doesn't understand needed all this in knowledge to practice it. They simplified it and gave it as a template, as daily routine, or ahar vidhi visheshayatan, guidelines to eating, simple things, and everybody can practice it. So this is all for today. And to set this narrate again this information, this chance I have to talk about Ayurveda is to celebrate Ayurveda Day. So this year the theme is Ayurveda Innovations for Global Health, and Ministry of Ayush. It was started from 2016 that National Ayurveda Day is observed on the Dhanvantari or the Dhanvantari Jayanti. This is Dhan Trayodashi. Before Deepavali, we celebrate on Amavasya. So every day we celebrate on that day, and we all get busy. So when we continue to celebrate it for a couple of weeks after Ayurveda Day. And thank you so much for listening to me and this opportunity. I will stop here and I will open the session for question answers.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana ji. That was very informative, and especially the question you have asked, you have put in front of all others that knowing our Prakriti is most important. Who we are, we should know. And you have discussed at length about the natural way of healing, and that is found effective globally because it combines your body, mind, soul, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. So that was wonderful. We understand a lot of things, I think. And there are many questions in the chat box, and also people are willing to ask. So let me take few from the chat first. One question is from by Krishna Jayanti ji. She asked, can Ayurveda practice by oneself prevent further harm or toxin our body, that is like high blood pressure or diabetes, can be reversed?
So yes, diabetes is a metabolic disorder. Hypertension is related to many things. They can, Ayurveda, there is not a disease that Ayurveda cannot address. Everything can be addressed by Ayurveda. It is just that you have to go to an Ayurvedic doctor and talk to them. They will. So how Ayurveda works is, in Ayurveda, we have a Rogi Roga Pariksha. It is not only we do the symptom, like you have hypertension and you come to me and ask, can something be done? Ayurvedic doctor, any knowledgeable Ayurvedic doctor would go in depth about understanding the person and how this problem is manifesting in the body and mind of that person. So we do the pariksha of Rogi, who they are as a person, and we do the pariksha, Dashvid pariksha, Ashtavid pariksha, Trivid pariksha. The classical way of examination are described to understand that disease in that person. And then, as I mentioned, it is personalized approach. Their ahar, vihar, aushadhi is explained to them. And if they need, Panchkarma will be described.
Ji. There is another question by Dr. Mosmi Chattopadhyay ji. She said, her question is, can pitta cause acidity?
Pitta is the energy of fire and water. So it is the potential, it has the potential to cause acidity in the body. But here is the thing, it is not always the increase of the pitta. It could be that pitta is normal, but vata has gone out of balance. And vata is, how it is described is kapha pangu, pitta pangu, pangavo maldhatva, vayunam yatra niyante tatra gachanti vegvat. So they are sitting calmly in their, they all have their seats in the body, natural seats in the body. They are in their place, but vata gets disturbed and it disturbs them out of their place. So person may suffer acidity. Their pitta is not increased. It is the vata that has displaced it that it is causing acidity. Kapha.
Thank you, ma'am.
If kapha is, just let me complete. Even vata and pitta are normal. If kapha is increased or out of balance, then it may block the way and block the way of the vata. Then vata may become vigunit and it may disturb pitta. So you see, it is not just increase or decrease. It is vaishamya, vikruti. So in various ways, this disturbance can happen. Again, even for a simple problem. If you talk to an Ayurvedic doctor, they will help you understand your Ayurvedic mind body type, what lifestyle and food guidelines are good for you, and then help you understand what are out of imbalance. Then only this problem can be addressed. But it is, Ayurveda is not just about vata pitta kapha. There is disease pathogenesis has been described. The most authoritative text is Madho Nidan or Panch Nidan of Ayurveda, where Nidan, Purva Roop, Upashay, Samprapti of diseases has been described. So in Ayurveda, when we want to understand disease, it is not just Vata, Pitta and Kapha. The Vata, Pitta, Kapha can be balanced. There is Shad with Kriya Kal. So when we go and do some ahar and vihar where we are disturbing vata pitta kapha, then it just increases in our body. Sanchay, then prakop, it accumulates, and then prasar, it has accumulated to the brim that it spreads in the body. Then it finds a weak spot in the body and there is sthana sanshraya happens. Then vyakti and bhed happens. That means it disease manifest and we go to the classification of the disease like this is vata or pitta and kapha. Like say any problem that you have, even the jwar, it is vataj jwar or pittaj jwar or kafaj jwar, or it is dwandaj, vat or pit, both are associated. So in Shadvid Kriyakal, the first three steps, Sanchay, Prakop, Prasar, till that point, if we understand vata pitta kapha, we can correct it. But since once the sthan sanshaya has happened, dhatu get involved. So there are 7 dhatus in our body. Ras, Rakt, Mans, Med, Asthi, Majja, Shukra. Once in sthana sanshaya has happened, like when you say diabetes or when you say hypertension, just by knowing vata pitta kapha, you cannot manage that because sthana sanshaya has happened. It has manifested as a vyadhi. So don't, why I'm sharing, everybody thinks it is just vata, it is just pitta, it is just kapha. No, please try to understand. It is more complex than that. It is a vyadhi prakriya. So you need to talk to an expert and then do what is right for you.
Ji.
I hope I have answered. Don't feel disappointed that I am not giving a remedy.
Because we understand that is a personalized thing and it depends on individual to individual. If somebody has something very unique to ask, which is related to them only.
And the
So-
disease process also, where the doshas are, they are just increased, they are accumulated, they have spilled in our body, or they are associated with other elements of our body, like dhatu. So where and in what stage of progress it is of imbalance, only then it can be managed.
Ji. So another question is from very senior member of from Kamlesh Kapoor ji. She asked, is there any book which gives all this information which you just has mentioned in your presentation?
So There are many Ayurveda books where you can learn about general Ayurveda.
जी.
If
We will take.
this
We
is a
will take.
community of highly, I mean, I would say this is intellectuals here. And if you are interested, you can look up at Ashtang Sangraham. Ashtang Sangraham was written for the purpose. In Ashtang Sangraham, Maharshi Vagbhat has collected the information of Brihadatrayi and other text of Ayurveda text and simplified for people to understand it easily. So Ashtang Sangra, if you want to read a classical text, I would say Ashtang Sangra is the best, where you can just go through the chapters. If you go to the Brihadatrayi, so to Ayurvedic text, many people say that they are not written systematically, like how we understand modern science and other modern subjects where there is anatomy, physiology, or herbology. In Ayurvedic text, everything seems haphazard. So it is not. It is very systematic. They have described it is just that there are some preliminary knowledges, systems are required for people to understand. They should understand Sanskrit, they should understand Sankhya Visheshik. Only then they will able to understand Ayurveda. If someone directly goes and starts reading Charak Samhita, they might feel confused and they might feel that what? So there is a way to learn these classical Ayurvedic texts. That's why people used to go to Guru. They can explain to you what chapter to read and in what order. It is not like one chapter after another you read and you think that you would be able to read. But Ashtang Sangraham is one text where it has been simplified and brought together in such a way where you are not required lots of preliminary knowledge of other systems to understand this science.
Thank you. That's a great information. And before we take questions live from the audience, let me complete a few one or two questions from the chat box only. Another question is from Dr. Kalindi Shuklaji. She said, "Is there any book in Ayurveda to guide to practice in routine life who suffered from autoimmune disease?"
So again, when you say disease and it is autoimmune disease, the paribhasha of swasth in Ayurveda is I have mentioned it in my talk also. Samdosha, Samagnishcha, Samadhatu, Mal Kriya. This Mal Kriya is what body is creating the waste in the form of mal and how we are eliminating. Autoimmune disorders are mostly because of body is holding these metabolic waste. Mal Kriya is not correct. So if you are trying to read a book and do self therapy, I would highly discourage you from doing it. You better consult an Ayurvedic doctor and then you do, because this is very powerful science. It sounds simple, but these things that people learn themselves and do, they can harm themselves. So when you see vyadhi or disease, it is better to consult a doctor and understand. The autoimmune disease someone might be having in a, you know, way that can be corrected by self reading. For someone it cannot be, but I would say everybody should consult a doctor, Ayurvedic
Ji,
doctor.
Ji, very right. And another question is from, there are a few comments on your presentation, like excellent presentation, informative session. And another
Thank you.
question is from Subhash Ji. He said, "Can you suggest best way to take turmeric powder? I was taking half teaspoon per day and I became anemic."
So turmeric may not cause anemia, or it may cause, without knowing your other associated conditions, your mind body type, I would not make a comment. But see, we are most of us are here Indians. I am not able to see, but Ayurveda is a way of life in India. And if you see the cooking in all the kind of dal, lentils, in all kind of vegetables, in everyday meal, it goes in our body. And that's how turmeric is supposed to be taken. If you think that turmeric is a very good spice or herb and it have therapeutic value and you want to take it, you better first understand whether it is suitable herb for you or not. Just because you have read or just because someone said, you shouldn't be taking it. What you receive in your food is adequate amount for everyone. But if someone wants to take, I would share that turmeric can be taken cooked with the milk. If you are not sensitive to or lactogen allergy or not sensitive to milk, which is very rampant these days, simply boil it with the milk, put little jaggery, and it can be consumed. Sip that milk warm. What is the best time to? The best time to, Ayurveda says, milk is Shresth Nidra Janan. So if you sip it after your dinner just before bed, then you will get the benefit of turmeric, you will get the benefit of the milk, of healthy sleep. So you can just boil turmeric, put jaggery, little jaggery. But jaggery is Ushnavira for taste. And I'm saying jaggery because this is the season. Here in America, this is fall. We are moving towards cooler weather. So this is Ushnavira jaggery, warming, sweet. Madhuras also helps in good sleep. And if there is any changes because of the kapha is happening, so it helps in that. It can be taken mixed with honey, but why you want to take that is more important than taking it. Understand why you are taking. When you take for therapeutic purpose, you should take for therapeutic purpose for a designated period of time and then discontinue it. Aushadhi is not ahar. When you take these as aushadhi for a long period of time, then Ayurveda says it becomes satmi to the body, and then you need therapeutic effect. Then you have to increase the dose or you have to change how you are taking. So it is not as simple as you think that just taking turmeric. There are various things that we need to think before we start taking. And one thing more I would add: scientific evidence. Science continues to prove Ayurveda right. In Agragarni of Charak Samhita, Charak Samhita has said that milk is Shresth Nidra Janan, and modern science says that milk is one of the richest source of tryptophan. Tryptophan is precursor of melatonin. So milk is a good source of melatonin. Someone having issues with sleep, they can drink milk at night. Milk should always be consumed warm. Milk should be consumed only after boiling. These are what Ayurveda says about this. So with the turmeric, I said these things. So Kamlesh ji is asking, can I make one comment? So you can look at that.
Even two participants, Dr. Shashi Tiwari ma'am and R.S. Kaushal ji also wants to make some questions or comments. But one last question from the chat is from Krishna Jayanti ji again. Is breathing exercises very essential to control all movements in our body? Solution to short of oxygen to brain and all parts of body. Kindly share your experience.
Can you please read the question again? You went fast, I couldn't catch it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Is breathing exercises very essential to control all movements in our body? Solution to short of oxygen to brain and all parts of body.
So I want Ayurveda, like I said, it is our responsibility to set the narrative correct. Breathing exercise is their narrative. We talk about pranayam, right? So pranayam is describe various kind of pranayams and its benefits. If you are doing pranayam, it is doing all the good things, the type of pranayam you are doing. If you have learned from someone in here or somewhere in Europe or America in a Western world where they say it breathing exercise, then they might have explained you what you are doing and how it is affecting your body. I'm not sure if my answer is making sense to you, but what I'm trying to tell is pranayam in itself is a complete therapy. It is something that is not just breathing. What we breathe in Ayurveda, it is a prana. It nourishes, it brings life in us. And how we breathe is very important. So let us not call it breathing exercise. I am very younger. There are lots of people, they are learned more than me. So I would learn from them. But in my opinion, I refrain from saying breathing exercise. Do pranayam, understand what kind of pranayam you are doing, understand what kind of health issues you have, what is indicated in that.
Okay. So now I would like to have comments from the live audience. Dr. Shashi Tiwari ma'am, may I invite you for your question or comment?
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me chance. I have two questions, in fact. what Ayurveda says about the Ayu of a man in a life. Simply, my question is regarding the Ayu, is it fixed or it can be increased? As in the Yajurveda, we know there is a whole Kandika where it is said that Yagin Kalpantam, Ayu Yagin Kalpantam. You should increase your Ayu performing yagyas. And there are other mantras also in the Vedas. So Ayurveda is coming from Veda. So what is its opinion? As later we know in the Puranas, it is said that till prarabdha karma are enjoyed by the person, life will be life is fixed. Breathe, सांसें गिनी हुई है, like that they say. So this is my first question, and the second is how long. Um, second is Vat, Pitta, Kapha are generally called doshas. So why they are called dosha? Because they are dosh when they are imbalanced. Otherwise, why they are named as dosha?
So
This
I
is
will
second.
answer your first question first. Ayurveda is the science of longevity. In the Ashtanga Ayurveda, it is describes Rasayan Chikitsa as a branch. The purpose is to increase the lifespan. Why we are born? In Charak Samhita, it says, I will just briefly mention, Swakarma Klesh Chodita. That means Swakarma or Klesh. What we have done, activities, we cannot escape its consequences. To complete that, we are born again. And Klesh, our desires and attachments. As long as we have, we are born. So we are born with this. But what we do in this life is in our hand. We are not born with the fixed years in terms of numbers that this person is going to live this life. It is the power is in our hand, how we live it. And that's why Ayurveda has given Rasayan Chikitsa to enhance when the sages saw people suffering from diseases and short span of life. That's why they gave this knowledge. So one of the power, one of the purpose, and this is the power of Ayurveda, that it is science of longevity. We can enhance what kind of life we are living, the quality, and how long we are living. Both is in our hand while we are living this life.
Yeah,
That's
this is
why
a
in
very good
Dharma,
question. Answer, very good answer.
thank you, madam.
Ayu Veda, that is Veda of Ayu.
Yes, that is the purpose. Hita hitam mayustasya manastas chatruk mayurvedsa uchyate. I'm just shortening the slok because of the short period of time. Hitayu ahitayu. So it itself people do PhD. You see, hitayu ahitayu, what we are living. This is our time to contemplate what is the purpose of life, what we want to do. That's why those sages lived in jungle, in the forest. They were not fools. They understood it so well, and they wanted us to teach. So it is the science of longevity. We are not born something fixed. It is we are in a dynamic state, always connected to our universe, in a limited sense of a universe, but this cosmos. This is the first answer. And the second answer is, these doshas that they are called doshas because they have the potential to call, they are dushya for the dhatu. Dushyantiti iti doshaha. Because Vat, Pitta, Kapha are actually dhatu. They hold this body because they are made from Panch Mahabhut, and we are Panch Bhautik. So Sharir is Panch Bhautik. So it holds our body when we are in balance. But body is in a dynamic state. I'm talking, if I talk too much, Vata will increase. If I don't eat in the morning, and come to the and sit down and talk because of empty stomach, my vata will be even more increased. When it is increased, talking might cause me headache or any other problems. So you see, if I have a healthy bowel movement, I eat nicely, I will come sit and talk. Then maybe it would stay in balance. My vata will stay in balance. But if I talk too much, this talking too much again will increase vata. Every moment, this is also Chad Bhangurvad. Every moment, everything is changing. So we are in a dynamic state. Our environment is in a dynamic state. So these doshas have the potential to go out of the balance. When they go out of balance, they become dushya. Dushya for our dhatu. Ras, rakt, mans, med, asthi, majja, shukra are our dhatu. They become dushya for that. And that's why this name is given. In the text, at various places, they have been called dhatu. But this dosha term has become more uh, rude. I am sometimes I don't find exact English word. So words we become rude because of the prakriti concept also. In that, these are vata, pitta, kapha are the doshas for in the sense of our prakriti parikshan. So doshas are called by various names at different references in the Ayurvedic text. One of the common reference is that doshas are dhatu, and most commonest is doshas are dushya, so they are called dosh. Dushyantiti dosha is one definition. So did I
Ji.
answer your second question?
Tiwari ma'am is on mute.
Okay. I am saying that it is not very easy to understand.
So, madam, I will just in 2 lines, I will explain. Doshas
Simple.
are made from Vata Pitta Kapha. Doshas are Vata Pitta Kapha. They are made from Panch Mahabhut. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. Our body is Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. So, doshas are Dhatu also. They hold our body Trayametat Tridandvat. So, they hold this body also. I gave the wrong reference. Ahar, Nidra, Brahmacharya is Traimita Tridandvat. But the Upadhatu, they are also called as Dhatu or Upadhatu or Dushya. Doshas are called Dushya when they cause imbalances in our body. They are called Dhatu when they hold this body.
Okay. Okay. Understand. Yes. Thank you.
Ji. So we have two more questions. One comment from Mrs. Kamlesh Kapoor ji. Then we will take R.S. Kaushal sir's comment or question.
Um, I'm 86 years old, by the way. That is senior, really meant very senior. And I live by Ayurvedic diet. I do all those meditation and pranayama, etc. And this is the book. When I came to this country, I didn't know how to make a cup of tea. But then, in the last 50 years, I created 220 recipes with shortcuts and everything. This is how to balance your body through the senses by combining all the 6 tastes. Um, and I'm just Dr. Singh knows, and he also arranged a presentation long time back. But I just wanted to share this with this audience. Uh, if anybody, wants to look at it, easy to prepare. And my second question is about the vata also. My own feeling is that as we grow old, our hormone generating organs, they are becoming weaker, and we are all partly vayu dosha. Am I correct?
So this Vat Pitta Kapha, this was a very short presentation and I have simplified it for daily routine because the topic was Ayurveda for everyone every day. Ayurveda is profound science, it cannot be discussed in an hour. So to answer your question, when we talk about Vat Pitta Kapha, Ayurveda says that Kapha is naturally dominant in children. Pitta is naturally dominant in during middle phase of life in adults. And Vata is naturally dominant during old age. How it happens is Kapha is the element of earth and water, is structural element. Growing body needs that. Pitta, because this species wants its continuum, it is active reproductive phase, and adults are the earning members of the family. This is Pitta phase of the life. Active digestion and metabolism and reproduction. Pitta is the digestion, metabolism, and transformation and creation. Now comes the Vata. Old age is associated with degeneration and decay. Ayurveda calls it chaya and dhiran. And the change from childhood to adulthood to old age, Ayurveda calls this change as nishpratikriya. That means the changes that cannot be resisted. It is time bound change. So when chai and dhiran happens, it is naturally associated with causes the dominance of vata in the body. And it is also associated, degeneration and decay, it is associated with chai of Agni, chai of Dhatu, chai of the Indriya Bal. So all these things are degenerating. So when you say these changes are happening during the old age, hormones, what are the hormones? Ayurveda sees it as a part of the metabolism, right? So what is the energy of metabolism? Agni. Our Jatragni is diminishing with age. Our Dhatvagni is diminishing with age. Our Panchbhutagni is diminishing with age. So changes in the hormonals, these are time bound changes. Our sages understood it well, and they gave the science of, again, Rasayan Chikitsa. What is Rasayan? Rasayanam tu yad gayam, yad jara vyadhi nashanam. Vyadhi, it is for the vyadhi, but it is also for jara, jaran. That what is sharir? Shiryate iti shariram. Every second it is chaya is happening, and Rasayan Chikitsa helps maintain that. So who should practice Rasayan Chikitsa? Everyone should practice seasonal cleansing, or from the old days everyone should practice. So what is Rasayan Chikitsa? Rasayan Chikitsa is Panchkarma. First we make our mal kriya, that means mal should be eliminated from the body, and this process of mal kriya should be healthy in the body. And then, because it is time bound change, we should add some rasayan in our uh, uh, herbs in our diet or food, or take as aushadhi. Here, one thing is, today I shared about Ayurvedic Dincharya. It is also called as Nitya Rasayan. So, people who practice this Ayurvedic Dincharya, it is Nitya Rasayan. It also is Rasayan rejuvenating every day. This regeneration and repair, it supports that in our body. So, I hope I answered your question. Regarding your book, you said senses and six taste. So, in Ayurveda, we see the body as Sharir, Indriya, Sattva, Atma. And Indriya, Ayurveda says, Asatmendriyarth Sanyog is one of the causative factors of the diseases. What is Asatmendriyarth Sanyog? Ayog, Atiyog, or Mithya Yog. Hin Mithyati Chati Yoga. That means Ayog, Atiyog, or Mithya Yog, when our senses are associating with these objects excessively, or very little, or in abnormal way, it causes disease. It's what the disease? It starts from the imbalance. So sadhya or kalantar, in both ways it can, this satmendriya sanyog can cause disease. So it is very important. And pragyaparad is also called one of the causative factors of the disease. What is pragyaparad? Dhi dhriti smriti vibhransha karma yat karte shubham pragyaparad tam vidyat sarva dosh prakupanam. We know it is wrong and we still do it. Then it is pragyaparad. Sarva dosha prakupanam. It vitiates the doshas of the body, vat, pit, kapha. I did not talk about the doshas of the mind, raj and tam. Sattva is not a dosh, but raj and tam. So pragyaparat causes vitiation of all the doshas. So this meditation, consciousness, indriya, it all is connected, interconnected, and they all need to, we need to live a very conscious life, how we are using. Regarding the shad ras, in Ayurveda it is called shad ras, taste, six tastes that you said. Uh, Madhur, Amla, Lavar, Katur, Tikta, Kashai, sweet, sour, salt, bitter, pungent, and astringent. Again, Sarvam Drabyam, Panch Asmin Arthe. That means this body, this universe, cosmos, our food. So we perceive food in the terms of five elements, and by the six taste. And in Ayurvedic text, Charak Samhita, 7 symposiums or conferences has been described. One is about ras. So, is there one ras? Is there three ras? Is there six ras? Is there 12 ras, or innumerable rasas? So, in that composium, they concluded there are six rasas. There is a controversy about the something, but in general, in Charak Samhita, they concluded there are 6 rasas: Madhur, Amla, Lavan, Katu, Tikta, Kashai. I will just give you one example. Madhur. Madhur is from Prithvi and Jal Mahabhut Pradhan. Always, all 5 are present for anything to exist. We perceive it by the dominance of the elements. Element is not a correct translation. It is Panch Mahabhut. Mahabhut. We elements are the elements of the periodic table, but for the purpose of translation, I am used to talking to Western audience. I am using this element, but for this learned community, I would say these are everything is Panch Mahabhut. For existence of a minutest of the minute particle, for the existence, all 5 are present. So our ahar is 5 elements, but we perceive by the taste. Madhur ras is Prithvi and Jal Mahabhut. Likewise, every taste have dominance of these elements. So when we nourish this body in terms of 5 elements, our food comes in the 5 elements, but we take the taste as 6 taste for the purpose of balance. And it changes like in the seasons. So Madhur ras is Vata balancing, and the same way for certain seasons we need to eat certain food. For certain season we need to eat certain food. During certain phase of life we need to eat certain food. And when we give these ahar vihar guidelines for certain diseases, it is based on this perception of food on the base of these 5 elements and 6 days. So I'm just trying to summarize very briefly to answer the questions, because I want to have time for other questions also. I'm sorry.
And now
I'm very long in my replies.
no, but these are very helpful to us as
Thank
audience
you,
are
Purnaji.
having a lot of they are clarity on the subject. Now the last question is from Professor R.S. Kaushalji.
Yes, sir. His video got frozen, I guess.
Yes, he was there and waited for so long.
Purnaji, I'm really trying to be very brief, but you know the nature of the question, and I want people to understand also.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We are in time only, and people are
Yeah.
getting clarity, and people are having a lot of information. Yes, Dr. R.S. Kaushalji, please.
Yeah,
Please.
sorry. First of all, I wish to thank Vandana ji for the wonderful philosophy behind the working of the Ayurvedic system of medicine. So clear, so vivid, and even touching the modern concepts. But I have few doubts, maybe little elementary for her, but really worrying me. See, our Ayurvedic system was started when nature was pure. But nowadays, when we know all very well, all the 5 cosmic elements, they are highly polluted, whether earth, fire, air, water, even ether. So many satellites, aircrafts are flying. So how do you justify the viability of the Ayurveda when it was discovered, it was all pure, nature was pure, but now with the polluted nature? This is a question number 1. Question number 2, I was in US. I saw the different composition of Panch Mahabhutas there. You know that, particularly in California, it is all pure sunlight coming, whereas here it is polluted or some particles are there. So once your climate change is there, what is the guarantee? For example, even Ranikhet is polluted. How do you manage to get these medicinal plants, which were Ayurveda is founded in India, where we had the medicinal? How do you have the parallel medicinal plants in the USA or maybe in the Europe? Please. Third but last question, if you have time, is related to circadian rhythms. How they are linked with the modern science. Thank you. Please.
So your first question, sir, everything is made up of 5 elements, and that is coming from the, again, Shad Darshan. In I say Sankhya, our body is made up of 24 this
I understand. Please keep on speaking. Yeah.
tattvas. So Ayurveda takes it the counting from Shad Darshan, Panch Mahabhut, Sankhya. says that everything is, there's 5 elements, and our body have chaturvinshati tattvas. The same way this universe is 5 elements, it will remain 5 element. It is just that what we call mal, it has become mal yukta, but its own inherent nature will not change. Pollution is there, but it is clean also. It would be like how a pessimist and optimist would look up at something. I'm a very optimistic person. I look up at the cleaner part of the world, and I mean, people have their own views. We are all not dying. We are not using oxygen mask. So, although everything is not pure, it is maligned, but it is still having its own nature. Prakriti. It has not moved away from that. We still get fruit, grains, although we also get GMO. So in today's world, what to do? I would answer that let's use our vivek. What is good for us? What is bad for us? We know what water is good, where we are, what is a good resource of water. Let's use that. If it is possible, this place has become very dirty. Let's move from here. So something, this environment is not in our control. There is lots of politics and there is lots of things going on. It is beyond the scope of our discussion. I am not expert of that. But wherever there is impure, there is pure. It is still, the word is livable. We are here. In future, how it would be, we do not know. So yes, you observe that. I agree with that. There is pollution. People say it is very politicized thing, whether environmental energy is changing or whether pollution is there. Governments are made and lost on these issues. So who are we? I will not go into that. And what was your second question? You are on mute, sir.
He is on mute.
You are still on mute, sir. Can you please unmute
Yeah,
yourself?
now it's so. I think now it works. See, how about California versus India? Because India,
I would not go in environmental thing.
because you are
I
staying
would
in
still
India.
stick, Ayurvedic principle still hold true. I stand on that. I can have a discussion on that. I would not compare California versus
Okay,
India.
but these Vat, Pitta, and Kapha, they are generated out of 5 cosmic elements.
I work
So
here
once
with
you are
Vapit Kaf in the
using the
people.
polluted version of 5 cosmic, the Vat, Pitta automatically polluted. Then correspondingly, the impact of the medicine on the body will be affected.
So I will
So
answer
what
your
much
third question now. I will answer your third question now, that the herbs
circadian
that are
version?
cultivated in ancient days, when the herbs that we got from Himalayas, say for ashwagandha, it has the best qualities. Here, one company, Banyan Botanicals, they have bought acres of farmland and they are cultivating ashwagandha in Oregon. So in my practice, I have seen that
I
the
see.
first thing is, in my practice, I have seen that because our Indian bodies, we are used to eating spices, we use the standard dose of Ayurvedic herbs and formulation. But for Westerners who come from a background where they have never used a haldi or our dhania, then I use lower doses and I get same result
Good.
as in an Indian or Asians who are used to spices. Now, this ashwagandha that is grown in Himalayas and the ashwagandha that is grown in here, Oregon, their quality is different. Ashwagandha grown in Himalayas is better in quality. With small dose, we see result, but the one grown in Oregon is physically looking different
I see.
and have different effect on our body. We need it in higher doses. So 2 gram to 4 gram, it is like that. So I answered your second question, but somehow, if you remind me, what was your
Third one is related to circadian rhythms.
okay, second
How
one I
that,
answered. The third
how to
one is
explain it in
circadian
modern
rhythm.
science? Because the time factor is there. See,
So,
body adjusts the clock in such a way. Now that clock works in India in
so
different way,
I
in
now
the US in different way.
I have
So we
shared
have
this in
to.
the slide also. I will
Hmm.
just go it over again. Ayurvedic circadian rhythm is based on the principle of Panch Mahabhut. Everything is Panchama, Sarvam Dravyam Panchbhautikam. Body and environment, Ritu and Divas and Ratri. This is the circadian rhythm of Ayurveda. Why we should do certain things at certain time of the day? Because we are recognizing this cycle of Vat, Pitta, Kapha in environment. Because we are part of this environment, that change is happening in our body also. And when we do these things that are aligned to the energy of environment, our body is less stressed. That is the Ayurvedic principle. Ayushya, it brings Ayushya. That means body is less stressed. We age well. It is not that I am 40 and my liver is 60 and my heart is 80. Aging well. Okay. Now what happens with the modern science? In 2014, Nobel Prize was given to the physiology and medicine discoveries of circadian rhythm or biorhythm at molecular level. They said that cells have their own circadian rhythm.
You may
What
evolve,
does
right?
that mean? I explained it that cells make tissues make organ system. So they have certain systems have their own circadian rhythm aligned with the environment. And for that, I shared the example of colonic clock. Ayurveda says that when we Brahmurta Uttishte helps support the healthy bowel movement. Shouch. And the healthy elimination happens. And now modern science says there is a circadian colonic clock which is set to have its morning time as elimination. So this is what modern science is proving, that circadian rhythm is there. What other evidence we need? Ayurveda
No, thank you very much.
is Shashwat and Satya.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have
I
to
understand
accept
now.
modern
Yeah,
science. I also ended in conclusion that for research we have failed because it needs a paradigm shift. Cell is the smallest entity in Ayurveda. Cell is Panchabhautik. So you see the cell structure is Prithvi Mahabhut. The fluid plasma is Jal Mahabhut. The Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, the activities they are doing is Agni Mahabhut. So that way, it is uh, subtle than our explanation is even subtle than at
Certainly.
cellular level. So we need a paradigm shift in scientific research to bring evidence for Ayurveda. I hope I have answered your question.
Wonderful, wonderful answer. Thank you very much because I'm a man of physics, so I didn't know this kind of
Thank you, sir.
development. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
sir.
And that was again lot of questions, lot of discussion. Our learned speakers almost talk about an hour, and then we had about 45 minutes of discussion, and that is what we really uh, 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 like to have on Waves platform, so that we can have a lot of discussion and other things. And a few comments are there in the chat box which says that they have enjoyed the discussion because it was simple and in a very short span of time, but still it needs more simplification because the topic is again from the Asian text, and that needs to be more simplified to understand by the normal layman of the society. I think that's the point they want to make. And with this, came to the conclusion. We are going to conclude this today's webinar, and I'm happy that a lot of senior professors were there in the program. I have seen Professor Balram Singh ji, Dr. R.S. Kaushalji was there, Mrs. Kamlesh Kapoorji was there, and Dr. Shashi Tiwari madam, and many other from Waves India and Waves International. I'm seeing here Dr. Ranjit Mehra ji, my colleagues from Institute of Advanced Sciences, Dr. Shruchi, Dr. Ramesh Kumar Singh, and Dr. Mosmi ji, Dr. Kalindi Shukla ji, and many others were there. And we are happy that everyone has joined us, and also many of them have even watched this wonderful presentation on YouTube. It was going live there, and we will soon share the link in your with the report, and also with the in the conference group. And I must thank our learned speaker of today for this very informative and wonderful talk. And that was having so much information for the journal public, and especially the point you have made that we should follow the Dincharya, and Dincharya should be on the Ayurveda, based on the Ayurveda practice. And somehow we also missed, because we sometimes think that today is Sunday, let's sleep for more time. And today is Saturday, so let's watch TV or other things. Let's go out, spend time more, and come at the in the midnight. So that's why that's how we youngsters feel like, and we feel that we can change our time in the weekdays, and the Ayurveda pattern should not be there in the Saturday or Sunday weekends. So this is how, but everything should be followed with the Ayurveda pattern of life, and that is the main focus of your talk was there. So thank you, Vandana ji, Dr. Vandana ji, for this talk. And with this, now we are concluding our session, and I must have one Mangal Kamna. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschat Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti.